What's up, guys? This is Mr. Garrow checking in with you again for a quick how-to tutorial with some details about our 2020-21 Canvas online classroom. Today we're going to look at the basic weekly routine in Mr. Garrow's social studies classes. This is going to be the general routine that you're going to follow Monday through Friday, each day of the week, and it's going to give you the basic idea of how our classroom is structured. Just as a general point of emphasis here, this stuff could change as we get going in the semester. If we see some things are working and some things aren't, and we might have to tweak some things here and there. But at least the first couple weeks, this is going to be the general plan as we go through and try to tackle this remote learning situation together. All right. So first thing I want to point out is the schedule that the schools have put out. This is your student schedule. You can see I've cut and put a picture of it here on the screen. Basically, you're going to have some sort of an advisory or a check-in each day from about 8:20 to 8:45. I'm not sure what that looks like yet, but we're still working on it, figuring it out. But you're going to check in with someone, and then you're going to start your class periods. Okay. And so on Mondays and Wednesdays, you're going to have periods 1, 2, and 3. And Tuesdays and Thursdays, you're going to have your periods 4, 5, and 6. You can see the different times that they are going to be made available here. And you're going to be able to meet with your teachers during those times, do your classroom activities, whatever. Then there's going to be a lunch hour from 11:30 to 12. And then after 12:30 is basically an opportunity for you to do that independent work for those classes, work on your assignments, do other things you need to get done, however you best see fit. Okay. The other thing to point out too is that, for a lot of you, your schedules are going to be kind of different. Maybe you have siblings, maybe you have a job, maybe you have other requirements, and that's okay. There's no reason that you can't do your independent work in the evenings or when it's, kind of convenient for you. I'm trying to build out a structure that is flexible enough to where you have the time you need to get the work done, and at the same time not so rigid that it eliminates you from doing some of those other things. So I'm going to do my best to be that flexible for you and help you through this situation. All right, so we're going to go ahead and look at the next slide here, and we're going to get this thing going. All right, so Mondays and Tuesdays. Okay. Generally speaking, our classroom on Mondays and Tuesdays are going to be what we call asynchronous, which is a fancy way of saying we're not going to have a live meet between us. Okay. Mondays and Tuesdays are going to be opportunities for you guys to get into the classroom on Canvas, log in, check the classroom announcements, check on the calendars, check the due dates, and then initially dive into that week's assignment. Okay. We are using modules in Canvas, as you know, if you've watched the other videos, for the weekly assignment, as well as all of the resources that you're going to need to finish that weekly assignment. And so that's kind of the first thing you're going to do. You're going to log in, check the classroom announcements, check the calendar, see if there's any notes or messages from myself or Miss Alvord. And then you are going to open that weekly assignment in modules, and you're going to make a copy for it. And you're going to do it every week. And if you don't know how to do that, there's going to be tutorials on how to make a copy in Google Docs of your assignment. You're going to do that every week. And then you're also going to want to watch the teacher presentation that is going to be shared by Miss Alvord or Mr. Garrow that goes along with the weekly assignment. So every week's assignment is going to come with some sort of a presentation along with some video links and other stuff to help you complete it. And so you're going to want to spend Monday and Tuesday basically going through the assignment, working on some aspects of it, watching the presentation, and just doing the best you can on that week's big assignment and the readings and everything there. And then if you come across things where you have questions or issues or concerns, you can write them down and save them for our in-person, digital Google Meet on Wednesday, Thursday, or you can always send a message using the Canvas inbox. Okay. So Wednesdays and Thursdays, are going to be our live days. Okay. And on the live days, you're going to log into Canvas. You're going to check your announcements again. You're going to check the calendar. And then you're going to come to our classroom Google Meet. Okay. We're going to be having a Google Meet once a week. You can see the times and the class periods, Wednesdays and Thursdays, based on what period you're in. And this is going to be an opportunity for you to ask questions, for us to connect as a class, for the teacher to offer more instruction or clarifications, and really an opportunity for us to connect a little bit more and hopefully help you succeed. Okay. These live Google Meet sessions are required. You do need to be there. If for some reason you can't be there, you need to make contact in advance with your teachers so that we know that we have to take attendance every day. And so we're going to be documenting who's participating, who's logging in. And there will be some more videos about expectations on Google Meets and that kind of thing. But I just want to make sure that you guys understand that Wednesdays and Thursdays, those are our opportunities to meet live. And we're going to expect you guys to be there. Okay. Fridays are kind of a unique day in the online learning environment. Basically, I'm going to encourage you again, you need to log into Canvas, check the announcements, check the calendars for assignments, due dates, whatever. Okay. I want you to continue working on that weekly assignment. If there's any questions that you still have that are unanswered or things have popped up, I would encourage you to send an inbox message through Canvas to Mr. Garrow and Miss Albert so that we can try and get those to you before the weekend. But hopefully you've been using your time wisely on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, been working on your assignment, been spending some time doing it, and you're ready on Fridays to submit your weekly assignment. Technically, it is not due until Sunday night. The due date is always Sunday night at 11:59 p.m., so before midnight on Sundays. But if you've been using your time throughout the week and you've been staying organized, hopefully on Fridays you'll be ready to submit that assignment in Canvas and turn it in and get credit for it, so you don't have to worry about that over the weekend. Okay. So each week, these weekly assignments are going to come with steps. Okay. I try to break it down and make it as simple as I can for you. And I'm going to show you those steps here in just a minute. So I just want to go over it quickly and then I'm going to show it to you. Okay. But basically the way that I would break up my week if I were a student and I were in a social studies class with Mr. Garrow, I would try to do these steps on these days. And that is probably the most efficient way to kind of break up your time, not overwhelm you, and just do chunks of it over the course of each day. Okay. So Mondays, I would do step 1 through 4 on the assignment, and I'll show you what that looks like in just a second. Okay. Tuesdays, I would try to finish steps 5 and 6 on the assignment. Wednesdays and Thursdays, I would be finishing step 7 and making sure to attend my classroom Google Meet. And then Fridays, I would finish step 8 and submit my assignment. If there was anything you hadn't finished on Fridays, you do have the weekend. Like I said, you just need to submit anything before 11:59 p.m. on Sunday evening. And that's the goal, right? To get your assignment done in the week, chunk it out, do the pieces so that you can be successful. I'm going to pull up an example of an assignment and show you kind of what those steps look like now. Just so you know, whether you're in U.S. history or world studies, the structure of the assignments is the same each week. Okay? It's going to involve some presentation, some video from your teachers. It's going to involve some reading, some outside links, and basically it's going to follow this general format. And we'll go in depth into the assignments later, but I just want you to see the steps so that you can have an understanding of how you would break those down. So as you can see here, step 1, 2, 3, and 4 are the first 4 things that you would do on the assignment. This is what I would do on Mondays. Okay. On Monday, I would watch the teacher provided lecture and presentation or other materials that myself or Miss Albert provides to you. Once you have those, you're going to go through them. That's going to really introduce that week's topic to you. Then there's going to be a couple of links. There's going to be a link to a timeline. And this timeline is going to help you understand some of the events surrounding that week's topic. There's going to be a background reading. Okay, so there's going to be a link to an article or some other sort of background information for you to read. So that's going to take you a few minutes to read through that background info. And then there's always going to be a couple of videos that I find online that are going to kind of supplement the topic for that week. They're either going to give you some information that you need to better understand the topic or to put it into context or whatever. So there's always going to be a couple of video links there. Usually they're going to be on YouTube, and they're probably not going to be too terribly long. There's going to be 3 or 4 of them, and hopefully those will help you better understand. So that's what I would do on Monday. Okay. On Tuesday, I would try to complete steps 5 and 6. All right. And now steps 5 and 6 are basically, they're kind of reading and note-taking days. Okay. And there's going to be 2 articles. There's going to be 2 sides to these arguments, to these issues, to these historical topics. And you're going to read each argument. Okay. And you're going to read argument 1, and then you're going to read argument 2. And when you're reading those things, you're going to use these boxes, and you're just going to type evidence. Okay, so you're going to type notes, pieces of information, things that you find that are useful to you, and you're going to type those notes into these boxes. Then you're going to type a real quick summary, 3 to 5 sentences, just kind of summarizing the article. And hopefully after reading that first argument, you're going to have a couple of questions, like, I read this and I still don't understand this, or I read the article and why didn't they believe that? And you're going to type that question in this box here. And then you're going to do the exact same thing for argument number 2. Read the article, type some notes up, take some notes as you're reading it, type a real short summary, a couple sentences, and then any questions you have after reading it. And that's what I would do on Tuesdays. Okay. Then on Wednesdays and Thursdays, I would go through obviously the classroom Google Meet, where you have an opportunity to ask questions, things that you might need clarification on. And then I would also finish step 7. And step 7 basically provides some sort of a conclusion or a wrap up, and then any other outside information that your teachers believe that you should read and understand kind of before you move on to step 8. And you're going to follow that same format. Read the articles, type any evidence, documentation that you have after you've read the articles, summarize them quickly, and then any further questions that you might have, you type those in the box as well. Okay, and then the final piece of this is going to be step 8. And step 8 is basically just going to pose a question to you, and you're going to try to argue, an argumentative right. You're going to argue for one side or the other. And you're going to try to convince your teacher that you are correct. Okay. And there will be different requirements for that each week. But you can see on this one for the first week, it says, should the American colonies have separated from Great Britain and why? And then you're just going to explain why you believe one argument was better than the other. Use evidence that you got during the notes or the presentations or the videos throughout the week. And then you're going to type your answer in the box right there. Okay. This week is the first one, so we only want 1 paragraph answering the question. Later in the semester, we might ask for 3 paragraphs, might ask for 5, might ask for a whole essay. Just kind of depends on how things are going. But that's the basic structure of your weekly assignment. Okay. This weekly assignment is kind of the major part of your assignment grade. You are going to be graded on participation, and are you logging into class, and are you participating in the Google Meet? Okay. There is probably going to be some really small assignments like discussion questions or surveys and things like that as well that are going to be part of your grade. And yes, you will have some sort of a test or major project that's a big chunk of your grade later. But on a week-to-week basis, you are going to have this format of weekly assignment in social studies with Mr. Garrow.